Hello and welcome to ePathshala lecture series for MArch students. In this particular module, we will be seeing about planting design, and with respect to one of the components of planting design, we shall see today about the visual composition of plants, or to be more specific, to be the visual composition using plants. So, we shall see this module under four objectives. One, we would see what it means by the visual composition of plants, then we would see the principles of visual composition and also understand a few of these kind principles like contrast and harmony, as well as balance, how to balance using plants. We would see them in detail. First, visual composition using plants. Visual composition could be regarded as the visual grammar of planting design. So, how do we design using plants? How do we arrange plants with respect to the designed visual that we are looking at? Where to place a plant, how to place, what comes in front, what comes at the back, what are the components of the foreground, the background, the contrasting colors, the contrasting textures, and there are a lot of different elements, lot of different plant materials that we have. Each of them have their own unique structure, and also each of them have their own unique growth habits and flowering habits. So, they differ in a lot of ways. So, how do we compose using these kind of plants? So, the composition needs to be done in a proper way, so that the designed intent does not not only performs functionally, but also aesthetically, and it is visually pleasing to the eyes of the user. And it is not something that is very exclusive to planting design, but also it can also be these kind of principles can also be applied in different fields of design like painting, photography, sculpture, any kind of visual art, and in which all these forms can be analyzed and by composition, and some principles are common to them all. So, when it comes as a matter of design, we could see that there are a lot of overlapping principles like balance, or we need to have contrast, we need to give the right contrast, we need to make sure that there is proper harmony within the elements in the composition that we do, whether it is a visual art or even photography, or even here in this context of planting design. We have lot of different elements which needs to be brought together in unison. Like you see in this picture, you can see a lot of these kind of a visual element like this, where you have a house and you have the plants there. And how do we arrange the plants with respect to the scale? The house, the medium sized plant, the tall plant, and we see a gradation here. So, there is a balance of the taller plants, and also the foreground also we can see there is a right lower ground level of ground covers, some are ground keeping, and some are a little medium height, and also you can see the potted plant, and in that way the entire visual, the way that we look, perceive an elevation completely works together, and we can understand how we can arrange the plant. So, we do not do these by mere instincts, but it is good for us to understand the certain principles by which we could get a very good composition done, so that the visual character is enhanced by means of these principles. Nick Robinson, in his book Planting Design Handbook, he writes about 5 different kinds of principles that actually talk about how we achieve these principles in planting design, and he lists these kind of principles like harmony and contrast, balance, emphasis, sequence, and scale. So, these are the important principles, I would say, with respect to planting design, so that the visual character of a particular planting design is brought out very effectively. It is important that we come to a common ground as to understand what are the different kinds of principles that are needed to visually compose any kind of planted environment. An understanding of these will allow us to analyze the visual grammar of any planting association and help us with both design method and creative inspiration. So, what do these principles do is that they lay a kind of, they give us a kind of framework based on which we could actually use them in a design process and make them as elements or instruments which would help us to give the right kind of visual arrangement to any particular place, so that it functions not only functionally, but also gives a very aesthetically pleasing visual or the landscape or whatever we see to the user. So, first we would see about one of the characters, one of the principles of visual composition, that is harmony and contrast. So, though these two are very are different, different in terms of the way they mean, but still they are brought together in a in a particular way, so that though different types of materials or plants are brought together, it is also important that a certain kind of unity exists when different kinds of plant materials are brought together, and that is where we bring harmony together, and at the same time the contrasting characters of the plant material which is being used is also brought down very effectively. So, harmony is a quality of relatedness. So, there is though there are different types of materials, though there are different types of plant materials, there is also a quality of relatedness. They kind of relate with each other, maybe with respect to color, maybe they might be in harmony with respect to growth habits or flowering habits or flower color. There might be some quality which would bring them together in harmony, some characteristic that could be found in these different materials as existing. So, that is harmony as we see it as a visual composition principle. So, it is found between similar plant forms, similar textures, similar characters of line and closely related colors. The closer the relationship between the aesthetic qualities of associated plants, the greater the harmony. So, one has to kind of identify the aesthetic quality of a particular plant, and when one chooses another plant, the way to achieve a harmony is to look for that particular aesthetic quality if it is available in a certain measure in the other plant. So, one can use that plant with the former plant, so that a certain degree of harmony is being achieved over here. So, we could see that in this particular picture that it looks the scene looks very harmonious, and whereas we could see there is a difference between the height of plants. For example, you could see a very lush green carpet with a lot of white flowers that you can see over the in this lower area, whereas we can see the tall barks of the trees with very sparse leaves that are there. So, there is a, though there is a quality of relativeness in terms of color, in terms of the green, there is a difference in terms of how it is expressed. One is like a carpet, the other one is very transparent, or I would say it is more translucent and very airy in its. One forms a thick carpet in the lower ground, one expresses itself as a very airy element above the ground level. So, there is a element of harmony that is found in this picture with respect to what we could see here. So, the closer the relationship between the aesthetic qualities of associated plants or any kind of plants, the greater the harmony. So, one would slightly try to work with some qualities that are kind of identical and also which could be found in both of these type of plant materials, or the number of plant materials that one chooses here. So, as it becomes increasingly close, it approaches identity, but in identity harmony would be lost because it depends for its aesthetic impact on the simultaneous perception of both similarities and differences. So, what this means is that, so once we start looking at this picture and we see a totally single harmonious composition, but if I could just zoom in into this picture, if I could go very closely, then I start to see this ground cover as flowers and as the grass. So, there is a kind of identity which comes in. I start to identify what is the shape of the grass, how it is standing, how vertical it is, which is prostrate, which is vertical, what is the leaf silhouette, all these things starts to express. So, as one starts to go closer you can start identifying qualities as such. So, in that case harmony is lost. So, it also it's dependent on the distance at which something is being viewed at, and how much of identity is one able, how much of things is one able to perceive when one looks at that particular picture. So, it's also important to understand the concept of viewing distance when one starts to look at this particular aspect, and there should be a very careful demonstration of how one works on the similarities and differences in the that one can identify in a particular planting composition, I would say. So, that not much of different identical things, but something which could relate to each other and be found in a very harmonious setup. So, the pleasure of harmony rests not only in similarities between things, but also in the balance between identification and differentiation. So, the one should be able to find a common quality, but at the same time should be able to appreciate the differences that are available in it. Just as we understand everything we perceive in terms of similarity or difference to the familiar, to make sense of the world, we pick out a pattern of similarities as different from its background, or conversely a pattern of differences arising from the undifferentiated. So, there are a lot of things that could be looked at in terms of plant material. They could be similar in color, they might be green, but they would have different flowering habits. One might be pink. You could see there is a harmony in terms of the texture of the plant that you can see here, but you can see the color is different. So, there are a lot of things. So, it's a matter of identification as well as the quality of being able to differentiate how we start to look at particular things. So, there is we always try to relate what we actually know, and when we see something new, we try to relate it with something else and try to understand as to what it is and how it is expressed to the things we know when we compare it in relation to the other one. So, harmony and contrast go together. They are not mere polarities and neither can exist without each other. So, there would be a certain a degree of relatedness, but at the same time there is also a certain degree of differentiation that we could see in plants, whether it could be in any kind of characteristics that we could observe in this. So, they might be different characteristics altogether, but in a certain way they are dependent on each other. So, that they are made to be dependent on each other, so that the final picture comes together in unison. Looking at contrast in detail, contrast is found between different forms, different qualities, direction of line, texture and color. So, as I told you that there are different qualities or characteristics based on which we can see, like line or texture or color. When we saw the visual characteristics of plants, we saw all these are different types of characters that are available here, and contrast does not necessarily imply any kind of conflict. It may be attractive. There could be some kind of differences, there could be a happy contrast coming from complementary, mutually supportive relationship between widely different characteristics. So, in some areas these kind of contrasts do exist, and they could be appreciated, but that makes an interesting picture. So, you could see here there is a green carpet which is there at the background, but in the front there is also the green smaller clumps, and not only these clumps of plants, but also in the same way you could see them arranged on a completely different texture bed of maybe wooden bark that is there and the boulders which are there. So, the trees and the smaller clumps, plant clumps, as well as the wooden bark have contrasting qualities of color, but at in terms of texture they both kind of exhibit the same kind of texture that is there. So, these are the things which actually make something, the visuals, very interesting, and one could bring in a completely different character, completely different quality as such, and try to bring in that contrast using the same quality of texture also. So, there is a same relatedness of texture, but there is a contrast in terms of the color that is brought here by the color that is being used in this planted composition. So, in planting composition we aim to achieve the right balance of harmony and contrast. Contrast between two species will be more visible and have a greater effect if there is a measure of harmony. So, measure of harmony then the contrast will be nicely visible, and it will be a comfortable visual feel that one could get if there is a certain measure of harmony. So, this arrangement works well when a contrast in one characteristic such as leaf texture is combined with harmony in other such as leaf colors. We could actually look at this like there is a contrast in form. So, one is a short medium height plant and you have the tall ones, but in terms of the texture it is harmonious. Everything belongs to a same medium kind of texture, and here you have the contrast in texture, but there is also an harmony in form. So, everything is formed as one clump at the lower level. So, you could see there is a contrast in texture, one is fine, one is very coarse, and there is you could see the differences, but as one element, as one single element, they exhibit a harmony in form. So, similarly harmony in flower color appears more satisfactory if it is used to link varied and contrasting form and texture. So, one could use different kinds of colors in terms of flowers, and one could kind of use these kind of characteristics to link together all the different elements. So, at the same time one has to be very careful not to exercise too much of contrast, because too much of contrast is illegible, and they are very related, and because the more number of elements we try to see as different entities itself, the more number of differentiation starts to come into the visual picture, and that becomes a little more difficult for us to see the planting composition. So, there is a certain sense of harmony that is there in terms of the gradation that is being used here, and when the scene exposes or expresses itself here, it looks like it is very serene. That is because of there is a single texture which is there, and which gradually changes from a lighter shade over to a darker shade as it recedes from the foreground to the background. So, that you can see a different single element of texture which is there. The texture is medium and it is slightly grade, but there is a gradation from the lightest plant quality and to be visualized as the darker ones at the rear side. So, there is a certain sense of harmony that is there, but one has also been very careful not in this, as you see this picture for example, has to be not to use too much of different elements. So, here in this picture the harmony is brought about by the texture, where there is the contrast comes in the colors, or even if we could go and say, if we could say the degree of the greens that are being used here brings about the contrast as such. So, a combination of plants with strong contrast in all its aesthetic characteristics would appear chaotic, and we would find it difficult to appreciate the qualities of individual plants and the composition as a whole. Indeed, the restlessness of such a composition would cause constant distraction. This is why restraint is one of the qualities in enduring and refreshing design. So, we have a lot of variety in terms of different colors, different quality, different lines, different textures, and when we bring together a combination of all these different kinds of characters, it is very important to exercise restraint, so that we get a refreshing design that is at the end of the day that functions very properly, but at the same time is visually very pleasing to the eye, and it is very refreshing. So, ultimately that is the goal of the landscape design intent that we could see here in these kind of projects that are being done in contemporary times. Next, we would see about balance. Balance is another principle that is very important, and balance, as we could understand in layman's terms, is that it's equalization of two particular elements, and in this case in terms of planting, it comes from the relationship between the vegetation masses. How much of massing we done on either side, as we could understand concept of a balance, that there is a fulcrum and there is a center point. So, in the same way the balance in terms of planting is also done or being achieved by keeping a kind of fulcrum or an axis, and based on this particular axis the kind of massing is done on either side of the of this axis, and thereby we try and see how the balance is being achieved in terms of the visual thing. So, if you see this picture, the pathway becomes the axis based on which the balancing is being done. So, even though you could see for example, if you see that this pathway is there and becomes the axis, then the planting is done on either side, the massing is done on either side, and here we have a slightly taller element here, or else the width is very less here. Here you have additional depth. So, the depth varies on either side of the axis, but if you could see the plants are little bit taller here, but here as we have a lot of depth. So, which means that a considerable foreground is being used as a ground cover, and then the taller plant starts, and the balancing is still more done by introducing taller plants here, which we would see as we keep moving on. So, it depends on their magnitude, their position, and also on their visual energy. So, balance comes from relationship between vegetation masses. It depends on their magnitude, their position, and their visual energy. The possibility of visual balance implies two things: that the parts of a composition have visual force or energy, and that there is a fulcrum or axis about which that force acts. So, the identification of a particular fulcrum is very important, or axis, and how we kind of arrange the planted material about this axis becomes very critical in a particular visual composition. So, the fulcrum or axis is brought into being, and it is being given importance by the way in which plant masses and other elements are placed around it. So, a fulcrum is being arranged, and maybe it might be a walkway, it could be a drain channel, it could be a river, or else it could be even a highway for that matter, but it is important to identify, and based on which the massing is being done on either side, and the balance is being achieved. So, and in considering these kind of circumstances, the plant masses are being planned in such a way to achieve this kind of balance in the visual composition. So, because of its vital role of attracting and ordering structuring elements, the axis may become the focus of the space. As I told, it could be a river, it could be a nice vista which leads to an entrance pavilion like what we see on screen. It could be something like this, and it becomes, so the central fulcrum or the axis becomes very critical. The simplest expression of balance is bilateral symmetry. So, there is a strict formality here in this case, where the arrangement of planting on one side of an axis is repeated as its mirror image in its opposite side, as what we could see here. So, there is a certain degree of balance that is being brought in by means of repeating the same kind of elements on either side of the axis that we could see here. So, there are two types of symmetry that we could see in a composition. So, it might be different in terms of a circle, but when we consider a particular axis or symmetry, there are always two sides. So, symmetry has been associated with strict formality in design. So, it could be very proper symmetry which cuts a particular space into two equal halves, but there is also another element of asymmetry where there is which it can split space into two unequal halves, or a quadrant into four equal or unequal parts as such. So, the symmetry is based on how the axis is being placed. So, symmetry has been if we consider very strict formal symmetry which considers which cuts a space into two, it has been long associated with strict formality in design. Its abstract ordered patterns are an expression of rational thought, and control of form is a demonstration of the power of human technology to shape the materials of the landscape. So, symmetrical form is remarkable because its contrast with the natural organic forms that develop when no conscious plan is imposed. So, symmetry suddenly gives the very strict expression of form, and one could see immediately the contrast between the natural expression of plants, which is more organic in its nature. Yet pure symmetry can be seen to emerge from natural forms. It is an intellectual refinement of the underlying patterns of the microscopic world and of the elements of the more relaxed symmetry found in living things. So, there are a lot of it's something that is that is taken from nature and reproduced in a certain way, so that it has a sense of one could relate that kind of symmetry to the living things that one can see around us. So, balance can also be achieved without symmetry. In this case, visual stability arises not from replication, but by the balancing of the energy of different qualities about the axis or fulcrum. Prominent form may balance coarse texture, and assertive lines may balance intense color. What this means is that one can use different characteristics on one kind of fulcrum, on one side of a fulcrum or an axis, and a completely different characteristic like a quality or a texture of a plant or even for a form of a plant can be used on the other side of the axis, and still one could be able to achieve a certain sense of balance. Like you could see in these areas, like you see there is a symmetrical balance, there is a strict formality of design that we see about an axis, whereas here there is a kind of asymmetrical design, where on one side there is a prominent form which balances the coarse texture on this. So, the leaf structure of this medium height plant is very coarse, whereas on this side one could balance the other side not only by putting not by just repeating a same kind of coarse texture, but something that is less coarse at the same time, and one a prominent form is being put here. Sometimes single strong form balances several weaker areas also. So, these kind of characteristics can be brought about on either side of the thing. So, quantity and on one side, as well as one particular element which can match in terms of the massing on the other side. So, like how we would see like a single plant with striking spore like leaves would balance a group of 3 to 5 smaller plants. So, these are the ways we could see and understand kind of textures as well as different kinds of characteristics of plants, and bring in a sense of balance between the composition that we could see here. And also the energy of balanced elements, how some these things are being placed, and maybe the potential energy that results from the positioning of the plant masses. So, not only in terms of how we arrange on either side of the axis could be a larger scale, and the position, the altitude, the elevational aspects as to where we are placing at what elevation is one placed, and how that massing is being brought about in terms of a larger scale. So, this potential energy is a product of the mass itself, and it is also relative to the height, and also the important aspect of giving prominence by placing a particular element in a particular area. These things are very important in the visual composition of plants. So, you could see here that how coarse texture is being brought in terms of this axis like a step, and also in terms of grouping, how one could suddenly group 3 trees on in a single area, and try to group bring in a sense of balance into this, where a pair of trees are scattered abroad and suddenly you have a grouping of 3 trees together. So, as a single entity it looks very balanced, and what brings in that balance is a grouping of trees with a lot of. So, there is a massing which comes and balances out the scattered masses here, as well as prominent form, and it could define entry points and other vistas as such. So, balancing is very important, and it is balanced by an axis or center. The symmetry is being brought out, and because of which there is a certain kind of equality, a visual stability is being brought when we do when we bring in a balance as such. It may include dynamic elements and exciting contrast, but its parts are held together in uniform in a unified whole. So, there is a lot of differences that we could see, and though these differences are interesting to look at, it's all brought together as one picture, and also working with harmony and contrast, sense of balance is being brought to the entire visual landscape as such. These masses of energy or energy equalities and stable non-symmetrical arrangements are sometimes said to have an occult balance. So, there are a lot of different qualities that you could see here. So, not only in terms of visual, but even from the top, how the planting masses is being arranged with closer to the building and even surrounding. So, there is also a balancing act that is also happens on a larger scale as such. So, it is very important to identify it. As I said, it could be at various different scales as to how we look at it. Maybe it is an entrance to a building, a stepped pathway as such, and how plants are being arranged on either sides, how form is being brought in one side of the axis, and being able to balance out the entire picture as such. A good example of Japanese landscapes, how texture is being brought in, how different forms as such were brought in, how shapes were brought in, to even though exhibiting different kinds of qualities in terms of textural material, but at the same time a certain sense of harmony it also exists in terms of contrast. So, this is a good example of how some things can be harmonious, at the same time we enjoy the contrast that is available in this picture, and at the same way the harmony in terms of color, the green, and also at the same time there is differences in shade and the coarseness and the and also there is a harmony in texture also, but there is a gradation, there is a very beautiful gradation in terms of the greens that one could identify. So, visual composition as plants is something that is very interesting and which guides us guides one as to how to approach this particular a particular module or design in a very simple and effective way. So, having studied the characteristics of plants, visual composition becomes the language of expression of the planted medium using the right characters qualitatively, positionally, as well as qualitatively. So, there is a quantity also is involved and quality also is involved. So, we can achieve a harmonious planting setup by using different textures, colors, forms, by using them rightly, and also by planning of the visual frame, and also by exercising restraint, and balance helps to use the right axis to bring about the right massing of the planted landscape to achieve the design intent. So, these becomes very important in terms of how we express our design and how the final design comes out. Thank you.